got a chance to see the independent horror movie Bone Lake. Let's talk about this right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zanko, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to jump right into Bone Lake. They even make a joke that it's that they went there because they thought bone meant sex. So if you're ever looking about how to write a script that is made for low budget, this is it. This is the way to write a tiny budget script. So it takes place in one location, and then on top of that, it has only 4 main actors in it. There are a couple of day players, like in the very beginning. We got people running for their lives, and then we have a mother, father, daughter that are in this picture, daughter, son that are in this picture, and we see a little bit of flashback from them. Another day player. That's it. So the rest of the film is 4 people, and it's basically a manipulation game. So it's about 2 people or 2 couples that end up at the same Airbnb. They all both have reservations, and now they have to figure out either who's going to stay or are they going to share the place. So, of course, they end up sharing the place, and it just turns into a game of cat and mouse. So it's very interesting. I think the production design on the house was very good, especially like the special rooms that they go into, and then on top of that, they did spend a ton of money on physical effects like blood effects and things like that. I don't know. I wasn't bored, even though that's the problem with having a very contained one location film, is that it very easily can become redundant. Because there's a couple of scenes in the car, but they kept the base camp at the house, and they had an Airbnb, so they had probably it was like a mansion Airbnb, which I've shot and stuff like that before, and it's very easy to house your talent and stuff like that in the rooms you're not using, or not hot sets, and especially when you're looking at 5 to 8 rooms in a house, plenty of places to store your gear and all that stuff. So, because we barely saw the upstairs outside of like the bedrooms and stuff like that. We saw, a couple of bedrooms, and for the most part it was, outside or in the living room or the foyer, and that was pretty much it. Pretty amazing. They kept it moving. They kept, it interesting. Because, like I said, it could very easily have become boring. And some people might say it is boring. But I thought that the performances were decent enough. So this is directed by Mercedes Bryce Morgan. I really haven't seen anything that she's done. She did a Stargate, like, prequel, Origins. I didn't even know they did that. But she did I think, most of the episodes on that. Everything else she's done, she's directed and produced a bunch of music videos. So I haven't seen anything. And the same thing with Joshua Friedlander. He's the writer on it. So he's also the producer. I think they both produced it as well. It's being distributed by Bleecker Street, which is not a small, it's a decent-sized distribution company for independent film. So they lucked out there pretty well. And I also put money into Shelby Oaks, the Chris Stuckman film. And I guess I'm going to see that next week or something like that. There is a screening here in Atlanta. And talking about Atlanta, this film was actually shot here. Woo! It was supposedly shot in Conyers. I looked everywhere looking for a budget. Cannot find a budget anywhere. If this was more than 10 million, something wrong. My guess is that it's probably like 5 mil. It says it has no main actors at all. No names. But with horror, you can get away with not having any names. So let's see how this does. Anyway, before we continue, remember too that first of all, give me a like, give me a subscribe if you can. If you can, ring that bell, ding ding. Give me a thumbs up. Share this video out there. And remember too that I am on Amazon. I'm a writer myself, so check out my stuff. Just type my name in. Link in the description below. You can see my 4-novel quadrilogy sci-fi epic series, Destiny Aurora. It was made into a board game and RPG graphic novel. It's on Audible. It's everywhere. And if you haven't seen any of it yet, then if you like Star Wars, Star Trek, even Guardians of the Galaxy, you're going to find something in there to like. It's definitely got the epic feel to it. Also, my fantasy novel, Tales of Ravenor, the Iron Witch. So if you like Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, House of the Dragon, we do have dragons in there. We have magic, and we have witches. So what else can you possibly need? But anyway, definitely check that out if you like that kind of stuff. And also my Fairy Tales of Terror, my new graphic novel, was completely funded. We are not open for taking additionally pledges right now, but I will be doing late pledge in the next few weeks. I started working on that already, and the new pages are starting to come in, so we should have that out within the next month or so. Probably a couple months, actually. But anyway, definitely check that out. If you, the link is still in the description below, even though you can't pledge right now. All right, so let's jump back into Bone Lake. So again, it takes place on the lake. The only nudity really is in the beginning. But the actors do a decent job. I could tell that they had chemistry, like personally, because it felt like they were having fun together. And when you get to that point, it's fun for the audience because I could tell they're kind of friends outside of the actual movie. I think that personability comes through. And but anyway, Joshua Freelander hasn't done anything. He's pre-produced and wrote this, and he's only had like 2 other writing things, so he really hasn't done anything. But Alex Rowe, so there's obviously 2 male leads in this and 2 female leads, so it's an ensemble cast for certain. And the more innocent ones, was Maddie Hasson. And I didn't realize it at the time, but she was in Elevation. And I really liked her character in Elevation. And she reminds me of Florence Pugh, if you see her. And her character name was Sage, and she was with Diego. Okay, so they're not married. They're living together. And he's deciding that he wants to write a novel. He's a teacher. And she is picking up all the financial stuff because he wants to stay home and write, which I guess affected their sex life because no longer were they equals. She felt stronger than him, and therefore she couldn't really get it up for him anymore. That's basically what she says anyway. And then, but anyway, he was very beta. It's hard to get into him as a character because he's such a beta male. He's kind of whiny. He doesn't really stand up for himself. And I couldn't really get behind his character. Like, if I was in the position that he was in several times, Will, which is Alex Rowe's character, would have been on his ass. I would have clocked that motherfucker several times. But anyway, so Alex Rowe is playing Will. He's on the other side with Sin. Her name is Cinnamon, I believe. So anyway, he's actually a pretty good actor. I've seen him in a bunch of different things. He was in Billy the Kid. He was in like 11 episodes of that. He was in Siren. He was the lead in Siren, if you've never seen that show. But yeah, he was also in The Fifth Wave with Chloe Grace Moretz. So he's done a bunch of stuff. He's not famous by any sense. He has a good look though, and this role was kind of perfect for him because in the Siren he plays more of a straight guy, but here he's got more intensity, and I think it works for him. And Andra Nachita, she's done a bunch of like one-off TV. She was also in Bad Teacher, stuff like that, but I don't think she's had any major roles. But she's got one-offs of a bunch of different TV shows. But she's a day player for the most part. She must have been happy to finally get something that she wasn't in and out for a day. But I thought she did a good job too. And again, the guys who did the gore special effects, good job, man. Good job. There's also a boat, and it takes place on the lake and stuff like that. Again, if you want to support independent film, I say support it. Is this thing going to win any awards? Hell no. But I applaud them, doing it. Getting this film made when I can tell it was just the writer and the director just got together and said, hey, let's make this film and we'll take it all in one location. We'll shoot it out in 2 weeks. It may have taken a little bit longer than that with the amount of blood effects they had. But yeah, for the most part, they can definitely have shot it out in a couple of weeks. Because that's the plan with these things. And it's a Airbnb. That's what we shot a lot of the verticals in and the Tubi movies I do. We just get Airbnbs. They were already there ready to clean up because we're paying for a cleanup fee. Although there was a lot of scratches on the walls, stuff like that I had to come in and get one of those magic erasers to get the shit off the walls. We had a lot of people. These Tubi movies need to take lessons from these guys about how to do something on a very small scale. But anyway, so that we do the same thing. And then even when I did work for Real Short, we got a mansion, and they charge like $4,000 a day, even for something very, very big. And so $4,000 a day, you're shooting for 10 days. That's $40,000, which is a very small amount based on a multi-million-dollar budget for your location. And there's plenty of places for everybody to park and stuff like that. So, again, these guys probably parked, out off property because they did walk. Most of the stuff was in the backyard and the front, but there was some scenes that were in the front yard as well. They also crashed a couple of cars. I know that wasn't cheap, stuff like that. So, that probably added another, $70,000 to the budget, just a car crash. That's why you don't do car crashes. But overall, it was entertaining. Again, I can't say that it's going to win any awards. It was just a little entertaining horror movie. And, for the most part, it wasn't even horror. It was more thriller because you knew that these people were getting manipulated. And you're like, when are you guys going to figure this shit out? And then when they finally do, you're like, okay, finally. Finally, we're playing the game. But again, Diego's character was such a non-male that I'm like, he's supposed to be the hero, and he's just not. He's just not. Sage is really the hero, and she's not even a final girl, So it's just like, but yeah. So I think that the ending was funny, but it was an apropos ending. It gets a little bit predictable by the end, but satisfying nonetheless, if that makes any sense. All right. So on a scale from 1 to 10, it's like I'm not even going to call it a 7. It's a 6.5. It's over. It's definitely over an average film. It was shot very, very well. I can't say anything about her directing. I wish that there was a pluck, like there was one shot that she has through the chess pieces that I really liked. but for the most part, she really didn't do much specialty shots, and I think that was mostly because she probably didn't have time. But I would have liked to have seen a few more specialty shots in there. I think that she had some missed opportunities, and there was some missed opportunities in the script. There was a couple of things that I would have done differently to give it a couple more twists. But anyway, so again, if you want to support an independent film, go see it if you're in the mood for it. It's not like low budget where you're gonna see like, oh, this looks low budget. It doesn't. It doesn't look low budget. So I think they did a good job with it. Well, it's not bad. It's not like it has bad acting or bad camera or bad sound. None of that. It's very, very professional. So again, if you like to support it, go see it. And I know I got to see. This was from a blind screening, but I know I got to see the other one with The Rock, and I'm not really care about Emily Blunt. I mean, I don't really care about The Rock. I'd rather see Emily Blunt, which is why I'm going to see that film. One about the fighter. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And again, everybody that's put in for Fairy Tales of Terror, I greatly appreciate the support. Remember to give me that like, give me that subscribe if you can, and ring that bell, ding, ding. Share this video out there. And I will see you guys on the next one. Have an awesome week. All right, bye-bye.